I'd like to welcome everybody to another video. This one's a little bit different to my normal videos, obviously, since there's no music and I'm actually talking. But secondly, this is not a showcase of a strategy or gameplay. The main focus of this is actually to show the variables and how the timers work for the spawns in survival. Alright, so to start off, the first things first, how I did this was I loaded up a listed server by opening up the console in the menu, typing in map, C10M2_drainage, space survival, loaded into the map. Then I turned on SV_cheats1, followed by director_debug1, which is that information in yellow that you can see on the left hand side of the screen currently. That's all your different timers and spawns and spawn slots. Then the other things I turned on because I was playing with bots and I actually wanted to last long enough into the round to actually showcase the timers reach the peak, and bots are going to struggle bad enough as it is for the first 10 minutes, let alone beyond that. And yeah, so I turned on God equals 1 to make sure I didn't die, and then I also put on SV_infinite_ammo 1, which made it so the bots wouldn't struggle for ammo. They still kind of struggle because for some reason they love picking up the shotgun, and when they do that they love to use the pistols instead of the shotgun, which is just utterly useless. And then also I was feeling lazy, so I didn't particularly feel like running for ammo, and also meant I could be particularly lazy with my aim, which, you know, normally I am pretty lazy with my aim, but more so with this, so just excuse the poor aim in this video. Alright, so rundown of what we've actually got for the stats here on the left hand side from the direct_debug. We've got the different spawns that are currently up for each of the different special infected. So you got your smokers, boomers, hunters, spitters, jockeys, chargers, and the total number of specials. In brackets next to them you've got the maximum allowed. So for your smokers it's 4, boomers 1, hunters 3, spitters 1, jockeys 3, chargers 2, and max of 6. Currently it maxes out at 8, which increases with each special wave until it's maxed out. Then you've got your tanks underneath that, which max out at 2. Then below that we've got the different timers, so starting with the horde timer, which starts out at 58 seconds I think it was, and then it counts down. I think it's about 2 seconds every refresh of the timer until it eventually bottoms out. I think that's the last thing to bottom out of all the timers. Then you've got your tank wave, which is when the tank will spawn. That will bottom out at 20-second timers, which bottoms out at 13 minutes. Then that also, just tied to that, there are double tank spawns, which will be 10 seconds apart, and you only get 2 early on, so there'll be one that's at 5:25, 5:35, and then you get another one at 11:20 and 11:30, and then from 12:50 onwards you'll get 3 sets of double tank spawns, followed by a lull break, which gets shorter and shorter until it eventually bottoms out with a 15-second lull timer. If you miss a tank spawn, it'll then, like when you kill like a tank, like say you're at like 2 tanks at the max and you kill a tank and you've missed the timer, it'll then wait, it'll start a new 10-second timer, spawn a new tank, and it'll continue to do that until you reach the next lull timer, which is every 6 tanks. Then after that we've got the special wave timer, which will lower the interval at which the slots become active. So think of those slots like your versus respawn timers, basically. You can can see them further down on the list. We'll get to them when we get down there. And then lastly, we've got the lull timer, which is tied to the tank wave timer, and whenever the lull timer is up and it's counting down, your tank wave, if that counts to 0, will not activate, and same for the horde wave, it will not activate. However, they will then continue to count down until they reach 0, and then they'll reset and then start counting down from when the lull timer ends. Your special wave will continue to spawn even during lulls, so you'll always have specials. That's why at 9 minutes you'll still get specials when there's that minute break just before the gold medal. Below that we've got tempo build up, total population. Those are both relatively pointless and useless information. Elapsed time, current elapsed time, yeah, it's useless. Map number, it's also useless. Okay, the next useful stat that we've got here is common infected stats, which tells you the next mob size, which is how many infected it's going to spawn for that mob. And your population is currently how many out of the mob or built up mob that you have, and then pending count is your built up mobs, which beyond 13 minutes you'll start building up, and you'll never be able to actually get this down to 0 again. So essentially you kind of soft cap the timers around the 15 to 17 minute mark, depending on map and spawns and how lucky you get and how efficiently and quickly you're killing the infected. And then when you reach the 21 minute mark, all the timers will have reached the minimum states and you'll be at the maximum peak intensity for the survival round. Below that, it's got session stats and survivor stats, which don't really have too much that's useful to you. It's flow state, which is I'm pretty sure related to your campaign distance, which is not useful in survival, at least in Left 4 Dead 2. Left 4 Dead 1 can be a bit more useful because that can affect pills to medkit conversion. Then below that, we've got the specials, which are your individual special infected timers for their spawns. Not 100% sure how this works. I think it picks a random varying amount of each of the special infected and then spawns them based on that timer, because they tend to spawn in groups. So you'll get 4 smokers together, 3 jockeys together, 3 hunters together, so on and so forth. But then lastly, the spawns are also then going to be also tied to the number of open and active slots, which will count down based on the special wave interval. So when your interval is 17 seconds, it means when a special infected dies, it then has a 17-second cooldown before the slot can be respawned. And below that, we've got survivor intensity, which is, I think for the most part, relatively useless in survival, because yeah, the intensity seems to stay pretty low for the first 12 minutes, and then after 14 it's kind of maxed out at an intensity of 1. I haven't noticed any difference when it does max out versus normally. You can be absolutely crushing it round to round, and it will be maxed out, and you can be struggling and it will still be maxed out. So I think that's more a thing for campaign and versus. Another thing I should mention before I shut up and leave you with some music to watch the rest of the video. The special infected slots will max out at 8, but you will never be able to have all 8 completely filled. For some reason, it always leaves at least 1 slot as available. So I think that's just so there's actually a limit of 7, but as soon as 1 dies, it will respawn instantly. I think that's the reason. But yeah, so it's got slots labeled 0 to 7, but not all 8 will